pre-game to a gig, do you lot have rituals? Do you have requests like riders or whatever? Like, do you have something specific that you like getting sorted before you go into the gig, before you go up on stage?
Don't like throwing a water bottle at my chest for some reason.
You are. Right then, team, welcome back. Welcome back to the Scratch Record Podcast. We are joined tonight by a Chesterfield based band that are signed to Golden Robot Records. They've got a mega up-and-coming headline tour with some amazing tracks they've released. My favourite thing they've released so far has to be the orchestral vinyl. Today we have on the virtual sofa, the Crooks. How are we, boys? All right?
All right, mate.
Mega Man.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
We both literally just say good stuff then. We've got to stop. Trying to stop what we say because we keep saying the same things. We've been spending too many hours doing this.
Too many hours on call to each other. Shit happens. Shit happens.
Right. We normally have been getting through the more traditional questions to start with. So more if we do have any listeners that might not have heard of you yet, give us a quick summary, who the Crooks are, what sort of music you play, that sort of stuff.
I'll let you answer that, Dunk, because I answer it all the time.
Where we're from and what we play.
Yeah.
Right, so we're all from Chesterfield, which is just smack in middle of England. And we just play indie rock, I don't know, Britpop kind of music, just big ballads and then, the odd little jumper here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oasis Britpop 90s vibes, isn't it? Just
man.
Big as possible. I like it. Cool. So how did it start for you lads then? Let's go back. It looks about, a couple of years ago, 2019 sort of time. Was that the actual start of the Crooks, or you've been going a bit longer than that?
Yeah, basically. So what happened were me and Modders, who's the lead guitarist, met in college about 2.5 years ago, something like that. Both went to a Green Day gig in Sheffield and just like chatting a bit of bollocks afterwards. We're just like, we should do his own band. So we're obviously both well into music and then just slowly pieced it together over about 6 months or something. And then as soon as Jack came on, because Jack weren't with us to begin with when we first started jamming together, and we sacked the first guy off, got Jack in, and then it just snowballed from there, really, didn't it? Slowly became what it is now.
Nice. So were you a bit more into your sort of pop punk emo type music back then? You were going to a Green Day gig?
Well, no, to be fair, it's like a bit of everything.
Yeah.
It's just always been in locker.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't imagine you with your black hair down to your shoulders. I can't imagine you were doing that too much.
No.
bit too far. But yeah.
Yeah, you can still appreciate a good band. I like that. I don't mind that.
Oh, well.
Cool. So what were the early gigs sort of like for you like then?
We did a couple of like little pub gigs just to get us bearings to make sure that we could actually do a gig together and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then this first proper gig were at Cafe Totem in Sheffield, just like a little music venue. It's like a cafe upstairs, and then you can go downstairs. And it's like this little fucking dark dungeon,
nice.
And it's right one of them little sweat pits, and it will bang on. It was decent.
Yeah, it were a good time.
Yeah, it were right good vibes in that.
Nice. That's it. We had tickets to see you at Cafe Totem last March, but it's still yet to happen, isn't it?
You didn't make it, man.
No, it was cancelled because of COVID. It was literally like the weekend. It was literally like that because we were saying it was like the week that it all kicked off, and we were like, "Is it still going to happen?" And it was like,
we had no idea. It was when some people were cancelling, some people weren't, and it was kind of one of them ones where it was all over the fucking shop.
Yeah, and then so we never ended up being able to go, but I did want to go because it sounds like a good venue.
It was cool, weren't it? It was quirky.
Yeah, we've ended up up in the capacity at that Sheffield gig now. What's due to come at end of year, Sam?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you'll be coming to Leadmill if you're still using your tickets.
Of course we will be. We'll be there. Don't worry about that.
I think it's in the old calendar, mate.
We had to dig through our calendar because we had we booked so many gigs over the space of like a year, and obviously everyone's now rescheduled for like September, October, all at the same time.
Yeah.
So I was like, now we've got like however many gigs all in the spaces of like the same week in like September, but we're gonna make it.
Sounds like a race session, to be fair.
That's what it's gonna have to be.
Quality week, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I fucking can't wait. It's going to be all over the gap.
It's going to be save up the money, quit our jobs, and just go to like 15 gigs in 2 weeks or something. It's going to be unbelievable.
Yeah, reevaluate from there after.
Yeah.
Do you remember what playing that gig was like for you like then? Because like you did your pub gigs and you kind of like started getting the feel, but that was almost the first musical venue gig that you kind of did. Was that something that was quite nerve-wracking for you lot? Or did you feel like you were ready? It was one of them natural progression things?
Which
both
one? The Totem one.
Yeah, the Totem one. That first like a music venue gig. It's almost like a gig.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we were all a bit like, you get those pre-gig nerves every time you play, I find. But it's more of just an excitement thing. I can't remember what it was like, to be fair. We've not even done that many gigs, but it seems that long ago now.
Yeah, I bet.
I just can barely remember. And probably pissed up all the way there and pissed up all the way back. Wouldn't help. So,
yeah.
What were it like for you, Jack? Were you all right about it?
Just saying, I think it was both for me. I felt like obviously a bit nervous in that because it was first time playing in front of obviously more than just fucking family and friends, basically.
Yeah,
pub gigs. We did a couple of local pub gigs where, whatever. It was first time where we sold tickets and like all that, and there were people actually coming to see us who we didn't know and all that. So it was a bit nerve-wracking, but at the same time, we felt like we, deserved to be there and that. So, and obviously it's gone up from there. So, did it for a reason, sort of thing. It's all good now.
Yeah, absolutely. Just sometimes some people get there's a couple of people we've spoken to the last few times. Cosmonauts was one, and they had their lead singer got fucking spangled on their first like big stage gig. It was on like their first like proper gig. They got fucking paralytic, couldn't fucking stand up. So like, I didn't know whether like there was anything that was like a situation where you're so fucking nervous. He was apparently so fucking nervous that he ended up having to almost like self-medicate himself to another level, where it's like different planet sort of job.
Yeah, I've not done that, to be fair. I've had a drink before gigs and stuff, but I've never been absolutely spangled, to be fair. I think you have, haven't you, Dung? I think that's just about every
pretty much
time.
everyone. Pretty much everyone. You're very level-headed, though, I find, Jack. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're level-headed with, if you know what I mean. I don't know.
I find
you're like more of a focused mindset on what's coming, whereas, us lot can detach and just go a bit crazy at times, can't we?
Because, like, obviously, singing's a bit different. You can't just get pissed and still sing on key and that. Do you know what I mean? Like, you still sort of need to know where you are and what you're doing. Well,
not karaoke.
I'm saying that I do. Obviously, fucking plenty of people ain't passing. Do you know what I mean?
No,
yeah. If I get absolutely spangled, I wouldn't know what the fuck going on. I'd just be smashing my tambourine about everywhere, and that'd be about it.
Yeah, that's what the Cosmonauts sort of said, and like I agree. Like, if for the crowd, if the singer's fucked, like it's really difficult. But if someone if the bass player misses a couple of chords or something or whatever, I wouldn't notice. Like, if the drummer's a bit out, I wouldn't even know.
Happens all the time.
Do you know what I mean? It happens all the time. No one even knows. But if the singer isn't singing the right words, you'd be like, hold on.
Yeah.
What's going on? Exactly. You hold that bit.
You've got it easy, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Well, man, I'm fluffing notes all over sharp. I'll get away with it.
Nah. So what's been your favourite gig then so far you've played? Because you said you haven't played many. Like, what's been the one that's kind of stood out for, like, whether it be for like a good time or whether it be for like a specific gig that like will be ingrained in you? Which one would you say is your favourite?
For me, the gig we did at Leeds. The gig we did at Leeds, because
the aftermath was so funny.
I had a fight with old guitarist before we even did a gig. And then we ended up getting there right early, and we got a minibus full of people all from Chesterfield who wanted to go. And they all turned up about 4 hours early for the gig. So they were all absolutely paralytic by the time the gig actually went on. And then on his last song, fucking some people out of the crowd ended up on stage and everything. My brother jumped up on stage, started playing tambourine and that. Some of fucking Connor's mates jumped up and started smashing drums about and stuff. It was just stupid, you know what I mean?
It was a bit like mayhem, weren't it?
Yeah.
And then all that malarkey with bus afterwards, and then other people were just getting all busy, weren't they?
Oh, mate. Yeah.
No, go on then. You can't just say the old malarkey on the old bus. Come on, what happened?
I can't even remember what happened on bus. I weren't even on the bus.
I remember what happened. The bus
You
driver,
know what happened on that bus.
the bus driver weren't happy because everyone was fucking hammered. And they were all trying to take food on bus and all that, and he weren't happy about it. And, you know, throwing up on bus and all that shit, you know what I mean? So he was not happy. You know, I think he were expecting...
Social actually love that bus. Modest mate, that Ash, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
But he was fighting with someone, weren't he? And I'm sure him and his missus were on that bus. Something happened.
They got off.
That what happened? They come off.
Because
he ran about walking home from Leeds to Chelsea, which is like 6 hours.
Yeah, him and his missus were falling out. Ash got off at bus, and then bus drove off. And then Ash was like, well, now I'm stuck in Leeds. So he ended up jumping in car with us.
Coming back with us. We basically shoved him in footwell it back.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
I told you not to incriminate yourselves. I didn't.
I told you it was going to be difficult. That's like the first story we've actually like touched on.
And it's already gone.
It's all alleged anyway. So just say like we were talking about earlier. There was a podcast we watched earlier, and it was someone said the person who was being interviewed said that he only says like 25% of his stuff is a lie. Everything else is truth. 25% of it's a lie. You've just got to work out as a listener to figure out which is the lie and which end. It's probably all fucking true, but that keeps your back up, doesn't it? I mean, something to fall back on, that does. So go on then, Duncan. What's been your favourite gig then that you've played so far?
Favourite gig? I think Manchester were good. The Bread Shed. Jack, you remember? I can't remember now because your brother come to that one and all, didn't he? And me and him got on it afterwards. And with that Ryan lad and all come out from nowhere. Where did he come from?
He travelled up from Stoke on his own, didn't he? Bless him.
Yeah, some lad come up from Stoke on his own to come and watch us. And all his mates had bailed out or something had happened. And he come up on his own. And so we took him with us, didn't we, afterwards, and just went round Manchester and just got a bit mad with it. I thought that was quality. Because this is the thing with doing a good gig. You play the show, which is always great. It's always what happens before and afterwards that makes the entire, ordeal memorable. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you kind of zone out when you play music, I find anyway. So I don't really remember what happens on stage half the time. It's more afterwards.
Yeah, I agree. It's not the actual gig at this stage. Playing in front of a couple hundred people and stuff like that. They're all pretty similar.
Yeah, it's a similar feeling.
It's the antics around the gig that make it.
Yeah. Well, we might have to adapt the question then. Let's fuck the gigs. What's some of the best nights out you've had after a gig or even just in general?
Leadmill were mad.
Yeah, not out in Sheffield after.
No, we didn't really go out supping after. We were supping in green room and that, in dressing room sort of thing.
Oh yeah, there was like all this scaffolding outside, weren't they?
Yeah,
and people were just clambering out windows onto the scaffolding. Yeah, getting up to like narcotics and drinks and stuff.
Yeah,
tables were nearly like destroyed.
I've got a video.
Didn't someone nick someone's beer that night? Sorry, I just spoke over here. But someone nicked someone's beer that night, another band, and he come up giving it a fuss, didn't it? And then
we nicked to create a red stripe, didn't we?
Is that what it was?
Yeah, allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
Rumour had it.
Allegedly, it ended up in our room anyway.
Yeah.
And he come up giving it a fuss, didn't he? Which it didn't stay very long.
Does that happen a lot then? Like, because if you are, like, as you say, like getting on it after the gig, is like the support bands, so they generally come in and do that with you, or is it something where it stays quite separate, or does it just depend?
We've had a right mixed batch where some support bands or just other bands that we've been on the bill with have been sound as fuck, and then some of them you can just tell, like, just from looking at them, that they're going to be complete knobheads. And I think a lot of it depends on our mood as well. If we turn up being a bit pally thinking, yeah, these sound all right, we'll have a chat with these after, then it goes all right. But obviously, if you've got a bit of beef or you don't like them, it's hard to be nice to them, and so when you end up bumping into each other in stairs and stuff, you know what I mean? There's always things going on, isn't there? Trying to think of who we might have liked.
Not many
list.
Yeah, just trying to think of that.
I always fucking mention him. Whenever people ask me about new bands that I listen to and that, I always mention him. But we met, I think it was you that spoke to their guitarist with me once upon a time at Cafe Totem, actually, when we played alongside him. But they were great sound. And they fucking, release good music, in my opinion, and that, which is...
Who's that?
They're called Fever. They're another band that plays with this Fever.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah, their lead singer was sound and all.
Yeah, they're sound, and they fucking release good music and all, so it's like winner. You usually find out that half of them are releasing shite music and they're stuck up their own arse.
Is that what it is that pisses you off about bands then? Is it some people being a bit big for their boots and stuff, or...?
It's one of them, man. I'm quite happy for
play
people
game
to be arrogant and stuff. If they want to be big and arrogant, and that's fine, as long as they back it up with some good tunes and look the part and that. But when they're a bit arty-farty and they're releasing shite music and they think they're something, that winds me on.
Yeah. Because we've spoken about it before, about how, like, I think there's less bands who have that sort of 90s style, like, frontman or just band in general, of like that arrogance and coming in and being like, we are the bollocks, and then backing it up. I feel like it does, sometimes they've got it, but then you're like, actually that good, or the really good bands tend to have a little bit more like of a mellow vibe to them, and they're a bit more, we spoke about the Lathams and how they're, unbelievable and on the up and up. But it's funny that they're doing it in a very different way to how like it would happen in the 90s, because they're quite mellow and they just crack on what they're doing. They're not making a big fuss about it all.
Yeah, people like that from what it looks like, People want to be around that nice people these days. I don't know. It's one of them things, isn't it? Obviously, there's always that bit of humour and fun around the arrogance and that from some people. But like you say, when it's pushed too far, no one wants out to do with that. Like Jack was saying, if you come back, you vibe up with good music and just being all right, then you'll be sound. And that's what Lathams are doing, or Lathams, whatever they are.
Yeah. It feels like it's a fine line to walk, innit? Because you've got to have that arrogance and swagger if you come across with that sort of vibe, that sound. It's kind of comes hand in hand, doesn't it? Especially when it comes to like, if you're heavily influenced by the 80s and 90s, like it just is kind of natural. But then also you can't be a cunt nowadays, because people will just tell you, and it just ends up like sticking to you, doesn't it? It ends up being it becomes a bit of almost like an issue that follows you around, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
There's a fine line between confidence and arrogance, isn't there? And I think
that's exactly what I was thinking about. It's basically more confidence based, isn't it? Really, Yeah,
exactly. And a lot of people these days, like you're talking about the Lathams and that, they're very much about that like student vibe, like bit. I don't know whether hipster's the right word and that, but it's that sort of it's that edgy comical type thing what they've got going on. A lot of people are digging it at the minute, aren't they?
Yeah.
We're just, I don't know. We're just a bit more like just fucking normal, casual lads. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's normal lad guy. It's normal fucking normal shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. It's a bit like I think like the Blossoms are maybe a good example of that. Of like they're probably one of the biggest around, and they're in, but they're a bit like that, aren't they? Like, they've got that sort of like arty, long hair, that sort of
Moses.
Kind
of vibe.
Moses.
It's kind of that, like a biblical vibe. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they're having an influence. The size of band they are now. It's probably like bands coming up, especially like Lathams. I think they're only about like 18 still. So it's like you're going to have they're being influenced by very different people, probably more so that than it is like the 90s and stuff. So it's interesting to see.
Yeah, definitely, man. You need diversity in music, don't you?
Gotcha.
Don't want everyone to be the same group.
Just because it like, just because I don't necessarily like dig their music doesn't mean that I don't appreciate what they're doing. Like they've got a massive following, and a lot of people of their age, and even older people, obviously, but they're getting a vibe going, and loads of people are getting on board in that. So good on them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, good too, man. As long as they're adding music to the world, mate. Do you know what I mean? There's more to pick from, isn't there? And everyone's happy now.
For sure. So do you lads get any criticism about like the way you conduct yourselves or your music or anything? Because I don't see much about it, but I feel like people do like you in general, don't they? But do you get any sort of backlash?
You always get it's it's there, but it's far outweighed with people that like our stuff. So you're always going to get it, aren't you? People that are vocal enough to want to tell you that they don't like you. Most people that don't like just move on and do whatever they want.
Yeah.
You know, and just go back to something that they know they like. You know, those that hang around and tell you why they don't like you, you know, they are few and far between. But,
and you get it anyway. You know, you
exactly.
can release a number one album and someone's going to fucking tweet you and say that they don't like you. Do you know what I mean?
Gotcha. Yeah, you're gonna get something going, aren't you? There's going to be always going to be some negativity, especially when it comes towards like the arts, especially like it's such a subjective thing, and people that have a shit life are always going to have something to say. Do you know what I mean? They've got to like fill their days with something, and they end up chucking it through with shitload of negativity.
Stuff personal, aren't they? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I find it hilarious.
I think everyone's got a point of view on it, and like as I said before, it's a bit of it's a weird thing with indie music, especially because everyone fucking loves you until too many people love you, and then they go, no, they're not cool anymore because too many people like them. Do you know what I mean? I think they get a bit of that, and like people then start gathering on. They've got this many listeners. Actually, they've had a chart place, and everyone just goes off them. And I'm like, it's weird because everyone spends so much of their time building them up and trying to reach a certain level, and then they hit it, and you're like, actually, fuck them. It's a bit of a weird like paradox of indie music, but
that's why you got to try and write and release music that's like, you know, like future classics, like a genuine music, not just like some catchy tunes that some people will, you know, jump out to or whatever. Like it's got to be proper fucking music, and then you don't get stuck in that category if you know, in my opinion.
Yeah, we always say about that, about having a difference between an artist and a musician. Like you come across, if you can kind of write things that are future classics and delve your hand at almost different lanes of the industry, then you can kind of come across more of an artist, and you have a little bit more longevity when it comes to it. Whereas like if you're just like a musician and you release the same sort of stuff over and over again, that's with no progression in your sound, then you're going to get stuck and get caught up in the wind, isn't it?
Yeah, it's easily done. Plenty of people do it all the time, isn't they?
Yeah, so many. But
speaking of sort of trying to be a bit more artistic, we wanted to speak to you about these orchestral versions of In Time She Walks Alone and the vinyl.
Where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah, basically, it's a question.
From the same fucking normal record. They just took the fucking electric guitars off it, didn't they?
Really?
All those strings were already there. I can't remember why that happened. We just wanted to put that out.
It happened because of lockdown.
Yeah. We couldn't record anything new, and we wanted to put something out. And they were nice songs stripped back as well.
Yeah.
A lot of people like them. So I'm glad we've done it, really. But yeah, we just took the electric guitars off and left everything else there.
They're a bit more to it than that, but not, you know.
No, you said it now. It was easy. Just took it.
Was they? But yeah, they did come out of nowhere, to be fair. It was like a spur decision, wasn't it?
Yeah. Who was the artistic mind behind that then? Was that one of you lot?
In terms of music?
No, in the sense of that specific orchestral vinyl. Like, I feel like that's quite a lot, like it's quite an artsy move, because there's not many bands that will come out and be like, right, here's some of our tracks, but we're just going to make it a bit more fancy. I don't know whether that's the right term, but like a bit more like classical orientated.
I don't actually know where the idea came from, to be fair. I know the reason why we did it was because lockdown obviously hit us all so suddenly. We didn't really all see it coming. And we didn't want to be quiet for fucking 6 months or whatever. So we thought, and not only that, but both She Walks and In Time, we wrote on an acoustic guitar, you know, piano I wrote for him and stuff like that, and strings were already wrote for him. Like, it was all already done. So we didn't have to actually leave the house to fucking create them records as they were.
Yeah.
So, you know, it were a no-brainer. I don't want to like rain on the parade of all the nice things you've just said about it, but literally record label were like, we need to get some art, boys. Have you got to? Well, you can use them stripped back versions if you want. Yeah, do that. That's all it was.
I love it. I love the honesty.
Yeah, honesty's the best policy. I like that a lot. Cool. Right. Welcome back. We are, post piss break with the Crooks. Sorry for the break in the audio, but I want to get into the single with you boys. This new single you've got coming out. It's called I Wonder. Obviously, this is we're recording it it's coming out. So it's a nice thing to almost plug the new single and kind of give us what to expect with it.
The festival tune, innit, Jacko?
I knew that.
The bloody festival tune, innit? No,
I've been saying that for the last 3 months. I've been saying that for the last 3 months. Every time we hear it, it's just festival tune, that, innit?
Yeah.
Is it?
But that's literally what it's like. It's just like summertime, fucking, nice and warm, get up and out, sort of jump about sort of thing. We've put out enough ballads, haven't we? Do you know what I mean? We put out enough criers and enough steady ones. So we thought, we'd bring something a bit chirpier and a bit more to move to, It's quite a different sound for us, I think.
I like that. What's it closer to like Silhouette Sunshine type pace? A bit quicker.
Pace, definitely, yeah, but not that same kind of like, not the same kind of sound attitude-wise, It's a bit more, it's like, it's major key, man. Do you know what I mean? It's happy days sort of thing.
I feel like it's a bridge between our, like, obviously we talk about us having a bit of a 90s sound or whatever. I feel like it's a bridge between that and a more modern sound as well. I feel like, a younger generation and stuff will really appreciate it as well. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I like the sound of that. That's exciting, that is. Because I think it's been a little while now, isn't it? How long has it been since an actual... Oh, no, we had Frankie, which is... I like that tune as well.
Yeah, well, it's one of them. It were never a single. That were the problem with that.
That
song.
were another time saver. That was another time
was
saver.
It? Is that what it was?
Yeah, man. Just to like fill a little bit of space. Because it's hard, especially during lockdown, to like stay, relevant, active.
Yeah.
As you can imagine, as you guys know your sense. So it's just one of them things where, we had something that we all liked it as a band, you see. We like to play that tune live. You never, playing that tune live is great for us. We wanted to, get it recorded and enjoy it for a sense and put it out for everyone else as, like we say, a little time gap thing, really. But the next single that we've got is the start of a new kind of drive, I think, a little bit of a evolution in our sound, even though we're not going to leave ballads behind. But but from this track onwards now, I feel like it's, like a new chapter.
Okay, sick. Glad to hear that. That sounds cool.
Nice. You're saying it's festival vibes. Have we got any festivals on the horizon that are hopefully still running? Is there any that you've been booked onto?
Been a bit of an awkward one because the festivals that we were booked on to do, we're not like main stage material yet. So the gigs we were meant to be doing are on like the smaller stages at festivals, and those smaller stages aren't going ahead this year.
Oh, are they pulling?
So it's like main stage and maybe one other stage type deal this year, I think. So, we're going to see what happens. End of the day, I know we're not going to be playing like fucking Leeds main stage this year. I can tell you that, but we'll be doing some virtual ones that, like, the smaller stages are doing it online this year, and later on in the year we might end up deciding to do some outdoor gigs at, late summer or whatever, but nothing's booked in as of yet. So
yeah, that'd be cool to get a little, almost like not a pub garden, but a venue garden sort of thing going. There's a few around here that are like a 400 cap venue, like outdoor venue. I think that'd be a class vibe, like September time sort of thing when it's starting to cool down and that. I think that would be proper vibe.
I'd definitely be up for it, man. But nothing's, we're not even planning that yet, to be fair. But
yeah, I
think, get another month or so and we know where we are now. Everything's back open and see how things go. And maybe we'll think about planning something like that. I don't know.
For sure. You must be quite excited because, like, I feel like your growth from going into lockdown to now has been like a lot of the, like, you've gained a lot of following. So almost like you could come back and your gigs are almost going to be like, normally you see the steady growth, but it's maybe a bit more of a jump. So you're like excited to get out and see how many tickets you could sell.
Well, we had the gig that, the tour that we had last year that you was meant to be coming to see us on.
Yeah.
Was sold out at like, smaller capacity venues. And those tickets are still valid. But since then, all those gigs have now been like doubled in capacity. And the majority of those are sold out or very nearly sold out.
See,
and that's not till November or December. So who knows? They might even end up going up again. We'll see what happens again. So it almost feels like we've plateaued during lockdown. But when you actually think about it, how you've just said, like, obviously we're still growing. So yeah, it's cool, really, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, it's exciting. I've got this, it's this weird feeling for the scene of like feeling excited that everything's coming back, and that actually these bands that we were watching going into lockdown and excited to go see at these smaller venues, we're going to be able to enjoy them at like the bigger venues. And there's a question that I like asking a lot of bands because everyone's so fucking different. Pre-game to a gig, do you lot have rituals? Do you have requests like riders or whatever? Like, do you have something specific that you like getting sorted before you go into the gig, before you go up on stage?
Don't like throwing a water bottle at my chest for some reason.
That happened once. He'll never let me live it down. We were playing at Leadmill and we were buzzing for it. I don't know why. We just all got a little bit irate before. And we were stood down this little, like, it was actually like another entrance into the building, weren't it? There were like a side door to the building, and you come through there and it just led you like alongside the stage. So that is where the bands would obviously enter from. And Jack were down there looking, focused, as I mentioned earlier. I launched a bottle of water at him. Like the cap of it hit him in chest. And he said he was proper fucked on stage for about 10 minutes after it happened.
Mate, it was like all full blown having a fucking panic attack on stage. I think he fucking broke the sternum or something. Right? But other than that, mate, in all honesty, no, not really. We get a crate of beer, we get some waters, and it's about it. We've only done like fucking 15 gigs or something. We've not had time to be divas yet.
Not at all.
We get what we're given.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that is it. We just get what we're given. Take it on chin.
Yeah,
I like orange M&Ms or something. That's one in a minute what they do.
Yeah, you should.
The orange ones.
Pick something weird or like fucking oranges with no peel. Like, make sure there's already peeled oranges in the room.
We had, was it Saab that told a story about a band having, like, requested an entire room for grapes and hummus, and that's all they want in that room.
They wanted grapes and hummus. Yeah, and the story is they had this, like, the band that they were playing, they never told us who it was, but they were supporting, like, a fairly decent sized band, and they had one of the rooms, one of the dressing rooms was just for grapes and hummus, but they got told it was their dressing room. So they to get in, like start getting ready and whatever. And the band come in, they're like, oh, sorry, you're not meant to be in here. And they're like, oh, why? And like, this is for our grapes and hummus. And we were like, okay. What the fuck? Oh. So they ended up in this like PE dressing room sort of shithole, like almost like up in the rafters, out the fucking way, surrounded by like fucking mops and shit. Like just because someone wanted a room. Someone wanted a room for fucking grapes and hummus.
Oh man,
fucking hell, that's funny to be fair.
Yeah, you've not got that bad yet, boys. You're getting there.
No, I feel like it's too much in here.
You're giving me flat food for thought now.
And yeah, you're gonna change. The first gig back, you're gonna be like, "Where's our grapes and hummus room?" Like, come on.
Yeah. No, I feel like that's just being a plain old dickhead, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just doing it. You've been a wanker for wanker's sake at that point, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a waste of a room, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, that's it.
It is. You're just doing it for yourself, isn't it? Like, it's fucking wanky behaviour.
Especially for grapes and hummus. Like, if they were like, "Oh, we want to fill it with beer and whiskey," like, like, we need a whiskey room. So, do you mind? You'd be like, "Okay, well, it's
like a cigar room."
Yeah,
mate, like a whiskey and cigar room. That's a bit different, isn't it?
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That's a bit like, okay, actually, I can understand it, but for some grapes and hummus, I mean, it's like,
I'd still class that as my dressing room though, because I think I'd be there the whole time. Nice glass of whiskey, big cigar.
Like, can I stay, innit?
Oh, I thought you meant with grapes and hummus.
Give or take, you know what I mean?
Feeling in the hummus.
Oh, Christ. Well, no wild stuff then for you lot. Soon to come though. Yeah. Soon to come.
Yeah, just some beers and that, mate. No crazy.
Yeah, I like that. Right. So I'm going to get into we have like a section that we're doing for this series of podcasts where we kind of get into scenario based questions. So I'll give you a scenario and you get to pick a band member to help you in this scenario. Right. Do you get the gist?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So should
Cool.
we take one each? Take one each at a time or something?
Yeah, so if I ask you, I'll ask you the question and then like take it in turns to answer because we've only got 3 scenarios and we'll just run it through like that. Yeah, right. So the first scenario I've got for you, they're all a bit.
Weird.
We're all a bit. That's the correct word.
Quite excited about this, you know.
You're gonna say, fucking hell, come on now. You're like, you dangling.
Yeah, I know.
This is what we do.
I'm blue balling.
It's like X Factor. Like we've got to like build it. You know what I mean?
So you're playing your furthest gig away that you've done. You're in the middle of fucking nowhere, likely to be somewhere in the Highlands in Scotland. You're fucking miles away, right? Miles away from fucking anything. You get given this Airbnb to stay in. It's a massive fuck off house, but it's cheap as chips. You don't want to leave it. It's like prime, lovely gaff. The first night comes, you're there for a few nights. The first night comes and you start hearing some fucking weird noises knocking about this house, right? It creaking, fucking swinging, you know, like the fucking curtains going, everything. It's horrible. It starts to be really terrifying. The owner of the house comes the next morning and tells you that it's haunted, right? That night, you decide instead of leaving, you're going to have a seance. You're going to talk to these ghosts. You're going to check the vibes. You're going to make sure they're not here to derail whatever you got going on. Who is going to be the person that leads the seance and fully talks to these group of ghosts?
That's a fucking question, that,
What
isn't
a
it?
fucked up scenario, man.
Yeah.
Hey, you wait, that's the light-hearted one.
In your life to like dream that up. I mean, Jesus Christ. I don't know. I won't be fucking doing the sounds. I know that for sure. I'm leaving that alone. I'd probably let Jack do it.
No,
Mate.
Jack's not feeling that.
I mean, what? So it would be the guy that would basically fucking
Who from
hold
the...
the Ouija
dead,
board
man.
talking
Yeah,
shit.
you've got to get the Ouija board out.
Yeah, full-blown, like,
Full on Ouija board and that. There you
knocking
go.
about the little fucking triangle or whatever it is.
Tell you what, I bet Connor won't be scared.
Bet Connor fucking does one every Saturday morning before he goes to fucking
Yeah.
co-op.
He really won't be scared of that.
That might be a shout then. That could be a shout.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
saying Connor then.
We'll
Yeah,
say
definitely.
Connor.
Is
We'll go
fucking
Connor.
just fucking headbutt him. That massive necker is.
Girthy nag.
Yeah.
They're
like
brilliant. These are good because essentially the question is like, who's the bravest? But what we've managed to do is like come up with a way of making it more interesting. It's quite funny watching people listen.
If you'd said they were just a normal skerfuffle and someone needed to get fisty, I'd have said don't. But as soon as supernatural,
As soon as Ouija
comes around,
board
it'd be on
came
his
out,
badge.
we were like,
Yeah.
I'm gone. I'm gone, mate.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Right. The next scenario I've got for you. This is an even further trip away. You've managed to book a show in Colombia, right?
Beautiful.
The messiah of places when it comes to certain things. You get caught up in a problem with the mafia. There's an issue comes. So you end up, all of you gets kidnapped. You put in the back of one of these fucking dodgy American vans that they've had since the 80s, hooded up. They chuck you in the back. You're stuck in there for a few days. They finally get to talk to you. They get talking to you. They've managed to find the English translator and they get chatting. They've told you, you've all got 20 kilos of an illegal substance. We won't disclose what the substance is, but there is an illegal substance. So you've got 20 kilos to sell each. Who's going to be the first one to shift the kilos?
Such a bad question. That is such a bad question. Who is the shadiest, most likely geezer in the band to be shifting fucking blow?
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, it's all hypothetical.
It's all hypothetical. It's not. No real scenarios here. It's all hypothetical.
Well, What would you do if I just like pan camera and they were just
Just piles of bricks up the side of the room.
And then we'd know what the yeah, and I'd have to do a bit more editing when it comes to blurring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's the shady geezer then?
Probably us two, in fairness.
All right, this is the best way to answer the question. We've got the shadiest past from, being naughty teenagers and onwards, but we're all grown up now, aren't we, Dunk?
Yeah.
You sure?
Of course we are.
Yeah. 25% of it's lies and 75%
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so it's you two, definitely. Get it shifted
I'd
in
say
2
so.
hours.
Yeah.
I like that. Right. Last scenario question for you. It is you're in the cup. Your football team is in the cup. I'm assuming, are you all Chesterfield supporters?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Smart. Right. So you got to a good place in the cup. There's managed to be a little bit of trouble with the away fans. Sure, there isn't normally, but this time round there has managed to be a bit of trouble. The closest thing to whichever band member you pick was a chip van. As this trouble's been going on, all they could fucking grab as a weapon was a load of boxes of chips that were lined up on this chip van. All they're doing is dashing these chips at the away fans.
Oh, God.
Who's it most likely to be that's dashing them chips?
Oh, mate. I don't fucking know. That's not happening, is it?
These scenarios, man. Oh, my God.
You got to set the scene.
Who's going to be throwing chips
At away fans.
at the away fans?
Yeah.
Oh, it actually sounds like a very funny time, to be fair.
Mm.
I know. I don't know. It's a weird question to answer, isn't it?
Well, yeah, no shit.
I'm going to be drawing first at McCain's. I just don't know.
No.
I mean, I like to think that I'd probably just jump head first into the crowd if it came to that.
Yeah.
So I'd probably, I don't know. I think Modders has got a good throw on him.
Must have a good throw in our modders.
I think he plays darts and that. Do you know what I mean? I'd want him darting chips at people, getting those little fucking sharp ones and just dashing them out.
That's nice, because then you've picked one of each band member as well, which we always like to see. So that works.
Yeah, man.
It's almost like we thought it out.
Yeah, it's
people don't think it's scripted.
Actually happened.
No, I like that.
Well, that is the end of our scenario questions.
For sure. I think it leads quite nicely in. I'd quite like to have a little chat about the football. So are you avid followers of Chesterfield? Is it home and away type job, or is it just sort of...
I'll admit, right, as much as, I'm born and bred Chesterfield, I love town, but I'm an Arsenal fan. They're the first team. They're the first team that I supported ever.
You sound like Elliot.
My dad is from Highbury, North London. He's supported Goonies his entire life. So when I was a kid, it were an Arsenal house. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was just one of them. I've just always supported them. But obviously, Chelsea are close to my heart. Jack, on the other hand, he's fucking diehard, mate. I can't go to a game with him without me and him nearly scuffling every time. Take everything so serious, don't you?
I get a bit too irate sometimes.
That's all right, though. That's what it's all about, though, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. We like a good away day, don't we, Dom? When you get out of bed on time.
Yeah, when I get out of bed on time. Because he's always like you say, he weren't drinking much last year, so he would drive, let's say last year, past couple. But before lockdown and that, obviously when we could go to football, he'd usually be designated driver. And we always used to fall out, didn't we?
Yeah, because someone would get pissed up night before and not be ready to fucking go, would they?
No.
So I left him one day, didn't I? I left him one day and he fucking ended up turning up to Halifax on his own. Somehow I got there because I didn't pick him up. And we near enough had a scuffle outside fucking ground before we even got in, didn't we? Because you were pissed off I didn't wait for you.
Yeah. And then we ended up nearly fucking fighting with those security guards outside at the end and all, because we were trying to leave. We were trying to leave the car park, weren't we? And then all the fans were coming out. And obviously, we were in car. They all ended up swarming around car. We couldn't get out. So then we've jumped out and all security have come running over, haven't they? I don't think it really materialised much, but It's never an easy day, is it, at football? You don't ever just go to football, sit down with an half pint, watch the game and go home and talk about it. That just doesn't fucking happen, mate, does it?
No.
Never an easy day being part of Crooks, mate.
No.
It's a tough life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is there a standout away ground that you like going to?
Not these days. They're like fucking fields.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Where we are now.
Because where are Chesterfield at conference?
Oh, yeah.
Just about.
Yeah.
Just about.
It's not been good recently. I can't think of one in particular, man, but just a good away. Somewhere like fairly local so that you take a decent following and where they've got some fans that, it's to be fair, it's more like a smaller ground so that they actually fill it and makes a good atmosphere. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as much as we hate Mansfield, Mansfield's good because
mate, we went Mansfield away. That were a good fucking game, weren't it?
It's always a mint vibe, like there's always a bit of fuss. There's always a good game and all. Don't matter if we're not on form and they're not on form. As soon as we've come together, we're both going for it. It's just quality, innit? It's just a good day out. I'd probably say them.
Yeah,
that's class.
There's no worse than going to an away match and ground's fucking massive and like they don't even fill a quarter on it. There's just no atmosphere.
Yeah,
bit like us now.
Well,
it's a decent ground.
Like everyone in the fucking country at minute.
Yeah, true. And you've had your music played there as well, haven't you? That must have been quite cool.
Yeah, it will actually.
Yeah, that man. We were meant to fucking play on pitch. We were meant to
really
play a couple of songs just before teams come out and that. But
we went in, didn't we? We went in and just on a normal day and just went into the stadium and had a chat with their coaches and stuff.
Yeah,
they were on about getting us in there to do a couple of acoustic numbers as well and changing rooms and shit like that. Obviously, COVID happened and put a dent in all this stuff.
Yeah.
We had quite a few little random things like that going on. But yeah, like Jack says, we were supposed to be playing on fucking pitch before one at games and obviously that never happened.
Yeah.
Just one of them things, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think the one other thing I had to ask you about, and it's sort of related, is Bootlegger. And where the fuck this whole relationship with him has come about? Because all I see is you two tweeting each other, like Crooks and him, and he seems like a big fan.
Yeah,
it's just wild. Like, where's that come from? Is it literally just he's a fan of your music?
Yeah, it's literally it. We were actually up at my mum's on the back garden one fucking summer playing She Walks Alone. Me, Modders, and Jack, and I think he just saw it on Twitter. I think it was just one of them things. We put it up and someone had shared it and he'd come across it and followed us and shared it. And within from going to bed that night and waking up, we just woke up with a pile of notifications and fucking, do you know what I mean? Like thousands of new followers and stuff. It was just all a bit mad, really. But since then he's come up and, when Wrexham played Town, he come up and we met him before at the Boozer and had a couple with him and that. And he went about getting us down to try and do some stuff down in Wrexham before lockdown again, but obviously all again gets put on hold, doesn't it?
Yeah, sure.
It's a fucking shit show, isn't it, when it comes to the old lockdown and getting things put on hold and all that jazz. But it's exciting. It's still a good time coming though. I'm excited. I'm buzzed. I'm buzzed.
I feel like it's gonna everyone's gonna want it more now.
Yeah.
We hope so.
It's almost gonna be easier for people like us to actually, get there because more people are interested. I feel like more people are gagging to be going out and going to these gigs than before.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping, isn't it? Like we've got these gigs that we're just, and ones that you buy that sometimes you'd be like, oh, I don't know, when is it and can you afford it? And people are just like, I'm not missing out now. You've got 18 months worth built up, so people are going to go to everything. So that's what we're predicting, a little bit of a boom for indie music and guitar music because people want to go to proper gigs and see real music, and hopefully that's going to benefit the whole industry, isn't it? Fingers crossed. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I hope so. I wish you could get a request a bet on that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I'd put a few quid on the industry booming a little
guitar music to come back.
Yeah, I don't know, get a little request a bet on that. I think that'd be class.
We don't need any more betting than there's already going on at the moment.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And on that note,
a few quid on that, wouldn't you? Don't.
You are?
You put a few quid on that one, yeah?
Oh, yeah, mate. Well, do you know, I'm not no more, mate. I'm not. I've learned the hard way, as a lot of people do. It didn't stop me putting something on at Aintree the other day, but, you know, you have to just take it a bit steady, don't you?
Oh, do you have a good day at Aintree?
Fuck, mate.
Did you not?
Yeah, I was watching other people putting money on horses, and I was putting some on my own horses, and all theirs coming in, and man, not.
Yours tripping. Falling over. Yeah, we had a decent day at Aintree, didn't we, Joe?
Mate, back Rachel Blackmore. It was easy. I didn't get the drama.
Easy game.
It was easy game. Yeah. Slap some money on that and you were sorted.
Yeah, good old girl. Good old girl. Right, on that note, I think we should probably look at wrapping the podcast up for tonight. Towards the end of the podcast, we always get the people we're interviewing and me and Joe to kind of run through an up-and-coming band that we're listening to at the minute that you want to give a shout-out that should be getting a little bit more looks at than it is already. So is there anyone that you lot are listening to at the moment that you want to give a specific shout-out to?
I'll be honest with you, not really.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. Cool. Yeah, that makes this section easier.
I'll give the Serotones a little shout out because they're going to be supporting us at these gigs we're doing in November, December. So I think it's only fair to give them a shout out.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they're good. They are as well. I think it's Secret's one of their songs. That's really fucking good.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah, we're looking forward to playing with them. It should be fucking quality, that.
Yeah, they're gonna have to be careful not to piss you off. Not too much hummus in the fucking dressing room before.
No hummus. No.
No. But I'm gonna turn up to the lead meal gig with a pot of hummus now, just to give you nice hummus. Pre-warm pitter.
We'll forget about
it. Just be lobbing fucking chips at you from stage.
Have you got one ready?
Nope.
I'll go first then. Okay. I wanted to give a shout out quickly to Columbia, who are a really good band. They've just released a new song called Where Did It All Go? And it's really fucking good. And I actually checked because I knew we spoke about them before. And it was our third ever podcast, Elliot. I mentioned Columbia. So
fucking hell, that's all right.
A long way. But
way.
Their newest one is their best song yet, I think. And I think I wanted to speak about it specifically now because they're very Crooks-like. Very 90s influenced, a lot of Oasis influences, but
nice Britpop sound, and
nice Britpop sound. This new one's a bit like it's a little bit rougher, but it's a bit more like Dig Out Your Soul Oasis, like the later stuff when they were having a bit of fun with it. And I think they're doing it really well, and it's a really good tune, and it's not quite getting those numbers that they deserve of it, but they're a top band, Columbia. Good
for sure. Well, I'm gonna go I've got two quick ones. I want to give Italia 90 a shout out. For the people that are fans of
fantastic name for a band, that is.
Yeah, Italia 90. Superb. For fans of people like Feet, Idols, Fontaines DC, that almost like spoken word punk. And on a similar note, I want to shout out Grandma's House, which is essentially that, but a bit more louder punk, a bit more shoutier in your face punk, and a female band. So they are fucking in your face, proper big bollock stuff. So yeah, they're the ones to give a listen to this week. And the Crooks, thank you very much for being here. It's been a pleasure.
Lovely. Thanks for having us, man.
Pleasure's all mine, mate.
Anytime.
It's been good. Fucking superb.
Yeah, you crack on and catch Arsenal because they're probably already losing by now, aren't they? Probably 3-0 down, aren't they, by now? Surely.
Whoa.
Hey, fuck off. Hold the phone. Hang on.
Do you know what I mean? Fuck it out. 10 minutes in.
I'm hoping Mrs. is fucking got it on ready, but I'm sure. Can't either. No, that baby's in there crying. Never mind.
We'll let you get off, mate. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, cheers for coming, lads.
Cheers, man.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
Cheers, gents.
Cheers, gents. Right, and if you are still watching, I'm going to run the intro now. If you're still watching,
it's an outro.
Thank you. Fuck off, Joe. I'm going to run the outro now. If you're still watching, thank you for listening. And actually, if you are here, for the fans of us, we've got a gig. So make sure you're buying the fucking tickets if it ain't sold out already. We're fucking buzzed. It's going to be mental. Garden headline, Motive support, fucking Rolling Thunder support. Elliot Williams opening the stage up for us at the Black Prince in Northampton. General admission tickets are going to be £7.50, and so the student tickets are going to be £5.50. So make sure you get in there, get the tickets if there is still some left.
It's sold out. I'm telling you, it's sold out.
If it's sold out by now,
let's go.
Give us a message. Give us a message, and we'll try and work something out with guest lists. We'll see what we can figure out for you. So get in touch if you want to be there. It's going to be a big night for us, and it's going to be a big night for Northampton for sure. So thank you very much. Make sure you subscribe to us. Make sure you go listen to the Crooks, and we'll see you on the other side. Peace.